can feel it knocking me out. You're bringing me higher and higher in every way.
Hey guys, and welcome to Jay's Nest. Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to use flat cloth diapers. So if you're intimidated by flats, if you're scared by flat cloth diapers, if you think they're complicated, if you think you need pins and fancy folds, I'm here today to tell you you don't. Using flats can be really simple, and this is my go-to system. My famous quote that I say in a lot of my videos. Fold that shit into a rectangle. And really, that's it. It's really that simple. Fold that shit into a rectangle. You're good to go. Now, folding it into a rectangle is not very complicated at all. It's a very simple process, and if you're not familiar with what a flat cloth diaper is, or you're still kind of in this gray area of what defines a flat cloth diaper, it's just a single layer of fabric. And that can mean anything. I know that's a vague term, but a flat cloth diaper also has this line of vagueness to it. It could be blankets, it could be receiving blankets, it could be flour sack towels, it could be little terry hand towels. Though I wouldn't use a terry hand towel as a flat diaper, but I do use them as boosters, especially for this challenge. So this is a flat cloth diaper. It's a muslin flat. It's just a single layer of fabric, and that's all it is. The edges have seams, they're sewn, so this is something you could definitely make from home with scrap fabric. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't need to be fancy. A lot of times people think they need to go out and spend a ton of money on cloth diapers, and you don't. Try this. It's very simple, it's very easy, it's very affordable, especially if you're on a tight budget, I promise. Cloth diapering doesn't need to be fancy. I've tried the fancy things, the fancy all-in-ones, the fancy fitteds, and they do serve their place, but I don't really like those systems. I spent hundreds of dollars into the other systems just for years later, many children later, to realize flat diapers is where it's at. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Now, let's get to the simplicity of the fold today, because that's what this video is about. So hopefully I've eased your mind a little bit about flat cloth diapers. I will be making a video about the 12 reasons why I love flat cloth diapers and why they trump every other diapering system. So here's a flat. It's just a single layer of fabric. They're usually big squares. Sometimes they're little rectangles. Sometimes they're a little wonky in sizing. It doesn't matter. The pad fold is forgiving. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't matter if it's oddly shaped or misshapen or the edges are weird. Doesn't matter. Pad fold is very forgiving. Bless you, girl. So, you just take this big chunk of fabric and you fold it in half. Doesn't matter which way. I like to fold it from top to bottom. So now you have a large rectangle. And then from here, I fold it from side to side. So I take it and fold it side to side. So if you're someone who folds towels at home or you fold blankets, very similar to that. So now you have a square, or depending on the shape of your flat, something that looks very similar to a square. Now what I do is I look at all the edges. These have rounded edges, they're folded in. This doesn't even have an edge, it's all smooth. This one has tons of open edges here. I can take the flat and move it out, take the flat apart from that edge. And I like to fold that one in. I like to do that so the edges aren't sticking out. So when you fold it into this rectangle, mine's a little wonky. Smooth edge here, smooth edge here. You don't have to do that. I'll show you what it looks like if I don't do that. So here's the unfinished edges. I'll fold it the other way. This way and this way. So then you get the unfinished edges on the outside. You could do it that way. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I just like having those unfinished edges on the inside of the diaper. I just think it's nicer and neater and crisp. But this is it. This is all you need to do with a flat cloth diaper. You can put these inside of a cover. You can just lay it inside of a diaper cover. You can stuff it inside of a pocket diaper. So these are very versatile because they work for many diapering systems. And they're cheap. And you can repurpose a lot of different things. My children are playing with Legos, if you're wondering what that sound was. Yeah, if you're intimidated by flats, try the pad fold. There are tons of ways to modify the pad fold as well. I actually have a video on a modified pad fold if you have a smaller baby. Now I know flats aren't as fancy as all-in-ones, and I know sometimes there's a stigma that this is just so old school, but They're pretty easy to use if you just use this fold. I highly suggest checking it out. It's very simple. You know, I use this about 90% of the time. There are a few fancier folds that I do enjoy using, but for the most part, this is my go-to fold. This is what I'll always recommend, and I think you should definitely give it a try if you're scared about flats. And you know, with flat cloth diapers, there is no reason to try other things, like fancier things, if you don't want to. You don't need to learn fancy things. You don't need your pins or your snappies, your boingos, your bandy bands, so many different closures. Just this, just the pad fold, very simple. So I hope you guys learned something new today. But yeah, just take it, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then fold it in. Doesn't need to be perfect. That's it. That's all this fold is. So I hope you guys love this fold. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope I eased your mind if you are looking into cloth diapers, specifically flat cloth diapers, and you're intimidated. Promise. No reason to be intimidated. These are simple, and I think they're worth the time. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Sending all my love your way, and I'll see you next time.